A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen, from Suffolk. I'm on Dunwich Beach, popped up for a few days. Bit of bird watching, bit of a holiday. We love this place, this area. Been here, I think it's our 5th time now in the last 3 years. We've got this beautiful barn, which I will film and probably include it in a bird vlog. You've got to see this place, yeah, amazing. I've already spotted that it's got green woodpeckers and kestrels hunting. Spoken to the owner, and they do hear owls. So I've got various methods at my disposal to help me find them at night, and we'll see if we can get a picture, but don't hold your breath, we'll try. Anything else? Lots of buzzards going around, loads of, just jackdaws and wood pigeons, all usual, lots of collared dove. No small birds, just the odd robin and blue tit to start with. On this beach, just north of RSPB Minsmere, the great RSPB Minsmere, just south of Great Yarmouth and Lowestoft. At the moment, only herring gulls. Got a herring gull ahead of me on the beach, one in the water. I'm looking for anything going up out at sea, and there's not a single thing. Camera set to 4K crop mode for distance, and there's nothing here. I mean, I remember seeing kittiwake as the most unusual thing out here last time. I'm just looking at, I nearly said RSPB. The Sizewell, the old power station, that I think the last time we were here they were trying to get it restarted or something. Anyway, we won't do any controversial stuff. It's a lovely day. We've got the place mostly to ourselves, a couple of hours till sunset, and I'm just walking south from the car park because there's a little hill on the right that in my head I think that's more likely going to be a place where there'll be some small birds hidden away. The beach on the north side, north of the car park, is more wide open. And then we've got sorry, I've forgotten the name. Let me just open my phone if I've got any signal. I do have signal. And it's a RSPB site, and it's called RSPB Dingle Marshes. Now maybe when we get back to the car park, I'll have just a little look over the edge, because I did see a pond and some birds. There might just be some little egret in there. But anyway, just wanted to let you know we're in Suffolk, and the upcoming bits of podcasts will be from here and maybe Norfolk. And hopefully we'll get to RSPB Minsmere and Aldburg and a few other places. Now, we've just made it down the beach and there's literally nothing going on, just a couple of herring gulls. So now we've come over to the Dingle Marshes, the reserve, and we've got some stone chat. I think a male, 2 females and a juvenile so far, and I'm just keeping an eye on anything because they're jumping around the place, and I'm just hoping that one of those individual birds is something else other than a stone chat. I'm sort of getting quite closer and closer. I've seen a couple of people walk by, so they're sort of half used to people. Yeah, I'm gradually moving closer and closer, and they're just getting more and more calm. I started off distant in the frame, struggling to focus, using manual focus to get what I could, because the background is very shingly and lots of gorse, and my autofocus system's struggling. Oh, I can hear it calling. I wonder if I can pick that up. Scratchy noise. Oh, that's the male. I might have a chance with a flight shot, pre-capture. The sun is just coming out, which is giving me about 4,000 ISO. Not great, but it might be enough. Let me look back. Yeah, there's strips of cloud going over the sun, and this is nice diffused lighting. And the stone chat are going right to the top of the gorse. This is, starting to pick up now. I had some luck with the stone chat. There are about 4 or 5, maybe even 10 on this beach. The longer I walk, the more I see flitting around. And I did get some flight shots. The sun is finally out. I got about 2 or 3 semi-usable ones. And then there's a pond, or there are a couple of ponds to my left in this Dingle Nature Reserve, the RSPB. There's no visitor centre or toilet, it's just literally nature. And I did spook, actually. I don't even know if I'll put the photo. I might put the photo in the vlog. It must have been some sort of lark. It took off. I was in pre-capture raw burst mode, and I got like a photo of the back of it, but it was about lark sized. It could have been Who knows how many things it could have been, but some sort of lark. Could have been skylark, woodlark. I don't know what kind of larks are up here. I can't say I recognise this call, but I remember the first time I heard an unusual call like this. It was in Faro, and it was a spotted redshank. It made me whip my head round because it was making a different call to common redshank that I saw in this pool. I filmed them, 2 or 3 of them, and it was like the chirp was completely different to the common redshank. It landed straight in the water and was swimming like a duck, as opposed to the common redshank, which waded, which walked around in the mud. And it had a really long beak. It's backlit, which is the problem. But the only thing it could be is a spotted redshank. There's no way it's a black-tailed godwit. And I heard the chirp, it was different. So I think definitely spotted redshank. Then the other surprise is, while we were looking for it, some red deer, I'm sure I've identified these correctly, a little herd of red deer have appeared at the back. I don't see any antlers. It looks like 2 to 3 females, maybe 2 females and a juvenile. So this is really picking up now. And with this wide open landscape, this could be barn owl territory for sure. You probably can't hear it. Let me just go silent for 5 seconds. There's a big wood to the west of us, and there's this wind howling through. It's incredible to hear. It definitely won't be picked up on the mic, but I've let it go to see if you could hear it, and I'll see if I can amp it up when I get back on my computer. But it's getting really good. I mean, this is the right time of day. If you don't see anything during the main part of the day, this is definitely when things start coming out. Unreal, absolutely unreal. We're just getting back to my cab at the car park, and it looked like a kestrel was landing on one of the gorse bushes. And I thought, no, don't even get your hopes up. Just film it and say you've got it. And I got my lens on it. It's a hobby. It's a hobby. How is that possible? It was landing on the gorse bushes. It was landing on the ground. I managed to get some video of it flying, be able to slow that down a bit, 50%. But yeah, when you see the vlog, shush, there's a black-headed gull above my head. Wow, a hobby, unbelievable. It's just flown off into the housing area, just west of the car park, and keep my eye for it, coming back. And you watch, barn owl will even come out at this point. So I'll be probably coming back to you later or tomorrow, but I'll be looking for owls tonight. I'm just seeing if there are any more of these hobbies maybe sat on somewhere. I'm just trying to defocus my eyes and let my eyes sort of pick up any movement. Unbelievable. I can't believe that happened. Good afternoon. Second day in, Norfolk now. Going around Norfolk and Suffolk. And I'm on, I've forgotten what beach it was. I'm sure it was Walcott Beach. Let me have a look. Yeah, Walcott, Walcott, on this sort of, where are we now? Just north of Great Yarmouth, on the sort of east side of Norfolk, the Norfolk coastline. And we've gone to several beaches, and they've had kind of mixed, nothing really going on that's interesting. So this is the best bird life I've seen so far, this Walcott Beach. I'll get to that in a second. I just want to bring you up to speed with the day. It's been a really decent day, particularly back at our villa at the let me get this right. What was it? It was New Farm Barn. Did I get that? Let me get that right as well, because I want to promote them. It's a great little property. We've got quite a good species of birds there. Let me have a look at my booking.com. I'm sure it's New Farm Barn. Let's see if my brain works correctly. And no, it's not. See, it's not working correctly. It's called Wood Farm Barn. And I'll include some footage that I filmed today of me walking around the property to give you an idea of what's going on. So the first thing, let's just pop back to last night as we left the beach up at Dingley. We stopped into this, you'll see this footage in the vlog. Like I said, Greyfriars Medieval Friary in Dunwich. As soon as you saw it, you just braked. It was like, wow, look at this. And the Eleanor's falcon, not Eleanor's falcon, it looked a little bit like an Eleanor's falcon. The Eurasian hobby, was still hunting. We got out to have a look because the sunset going down, and then the moon was coming up. I tried for the life of me, I couldn't get a good picture of the moon because the moon was really bright and the building was in shadow, and you want this, having them both exposed to the right amount, but you'd have to take 3 pictures and and stack them on top of each other, which I don't, and I don't have a wide enough lens. I've only got a telephoto lens. And the other thing I forgot to mention, up here, there's a lot of outdoor reared pigs, pork, and we often see fully grown adults. And this time we saw loads of piglets, and my wife was letting out the same kind of squeals as the piglets were when she saw them. And these piglets, you think they'd like humans. As soon as we stopped, they all bolted for the little cubby holes and the little shed they were living in. But yeah, she said, I'm never going to eat sausages again. Yes, you will. Once you smell the sausage, you'll be eating it again. But yeah, the footage will be on the vlog. And this morning, yeah, we got the walk around of the property. And then I thought, right, I said last night I was going to try and get the green woodpecker. And I got it. I got some footage, record footage. And eventually it was hanging about for a little while, to the point where I thought I might be able to get flight shots if it comes towards me. So I took the footage from a sort of hole in the tree, not to spook it. I kept my distance and used this sort of gap in the tree line before stepping out. And then I used the sort of tree line to mask my approach. It was an adult, this one. I think the earlier one I got was a juvenile. And I managed to put it on the raw burst mode, which takes half a second worth of photos before you fully press the shutter button, and then it keeps everything from half a second before. And I got one of my best ever green spotted. I'm going to get to the great spotted because there are also great spotted woodpeckers on the property. It's amazing. There was also a kestrel last night, which I think I've mentioned. But there, the green woodpecker's taken care of. I've got photos and video of that. And as we were leaving, I saw birds land on a top of a dead tree, and I thought that they're not right. Something's not right about them for goldfinch and things like that. I got my camera on, a few seconds, sure enough, spotted flycatchers. And I don't think I've ever seen them in this country except in Wales. I've got them all over the Med, but not here. So I got some of that. And as we got further down towards the exit of this barn, the place we're staying, some more were landing and hunting in the trees. And when I got my camera on them, it looked like a juvenile. For a second, I thought, is that a juvenile robin? It looked kind of scruffy, but juvenile spotted flycatcher. And tomorrow morning, I'm going to get up and go out specifically for all of those. But there were also, yeah, the great spotted woodpecker. If I wasn't concentrating on the spotted flycatcher, I could hear the great spotted woodpecker in a tree to my right, but I couldn't risk taking my eye off the spotted flycatcher. I can get woodpeckers anytime, but I missed it. It would have been a good bit of video, but it was flying away. Shame. But a buzzard went right over the farm as well, and I tried to follow it as best I can. Lovely light. The skies were completely blue, so none of this blown out highlights or white background, and that'll look really good in the video when I slow it down 50%. Probably half a mile from the property on this little country road, something we've seen in Suffolk and Norfolk multiple times, barn swallows on wires doing the food pass. So I had to stop for photos. I got some photos of that. Not the greatest angle. The sun had gone behind a cloud, so you've got this white out sky. And the bird was being fed from behind, which meant the wire was cutting across the body of the adult. I'll go through and see, I'll pick out the best ones. But I'd like to have filmed that with slow-mo. I've got to capture that in video for sure in the future. And then not even another half mile past that, I spotted a buzzard in a tree. And I managed to stop literally in the middle of the main road with no other cars. I turned the engine off so I could hear anything approaching, and there was nothing else approaching. So I got a bit of video of that, just anything to bulk up the footage. And we've just basically wound our way through all the little sort of beaches and stops of Norfolk and the North Suffolk coast to find anything interesting. And this is the best so far. My wife's got an ice cream and is sitting in a cab, and I've looked out and I've seen a guillemot. I'm sure that's a guillemot. I've just been checking birds out in the water, far out, and excellent. That's the first kind of seabird I've seen in the UK like that. That's not a black-headed gull or a herring gull or a cormorant. Amazing. And as I look down to the waterfront, where the tide line is, there are turnstone. There's literally a turnstone. Yeah, it's 10 feet away from me, 11 feet. It's walking past me. With loads of footage of these. I might try and get down low and flip the screen out to get some nice clean background. But I want to get down this beach and keep an eye on the water out there for anything going by. I want something unusual. The turnstone I can get anywhere, even though they're presenting amazing opportunities. And I want to see if there are any sandalling or dunlin further up. this is a really good beach so far. But I'm sure there could be gannets or kittiwake out there. There's so many more birds. Everywhere I went last night and earlier today, there's nothing, absolutely nothing. I've just seen some terns go by. They might be sandwich. The first time I got a little tern, it was up here at Wells by the sea, or Wells next sea. Really good for terns here. So I'm gonna get cracking with some video and photos, and I'll do another catch up later. Very good morning, 6th of September, still in Suffolk, and just do a catch up from last night because I never got to do it. After we stopped at Walcott Beach and I got my fill of various things like the guillemot and the turnstone, did lots of filming of the turnstone from low down. I brought this, like I said, this knee guard that I used to change tyres out to get down in the sand and not get my trousers dirty, because the only trousers I brought with me. Moved on up the coast, just basically stopping at lots of beaches to see what was good and what had potential for future trips. And the only thing we found was a nice little town called, I think it's probably pronounced differently by the locals, Mundersley. And there's quite a high cliff. We drove behind a old Victorian or Georgian, I'm terrible with my architecture. You'll see the building in the footage, just to check out what's going on back there. We found a sort of sea view road, and there were loads of house martin. So I didn't need my dot sight for these. They were flying all around me, slowing down in the wind, and I got some shots off, and I did manage to get this really, really, really good one of it flying towards me. And normally my camera can't manage birds flying away or towards me very well. The tracking isn't that good, but it was a sequence of 3, and the first one, it caught it by accident. The eye was in focus, and in the subsequent bird photos weren't. So this one is my best ever house martin photo. Sharp, pin sharp. You can see all the feather detail. I only had to crop away about sort of 40% of the sky to fill the frame. So we finished up there, and just before dinner we went for some ribs. We stopped some fields south of Cromer because there were loads, hundreds and hundreds of partridge and pheasant. The partridge were in a field further south. The last lot of this sort of gaming area, there's big estates. So this sort of thing's going to happen up here. There are feeders out for the pheasants, and the pheasants were colours I'd never seen before. White pheasant, black pheasant, bluish, bronzish like the ones we have. But yeah, interesting to see that. The only time I've seen that before was Wales. We were going through a part of Wales, and we literally had to slow down because they were just in the road, hundreds of them everywhere, thousands, and you'd slow down not to hit them. They weren't too spooked by vehicles. And right now I am at the bottom of the track to our property where we're staying, looking out for the spotted flycatchers to see if they are resident, and they are. I've got them. Got some video. They're not showing a lot, so I was hoping for some photo opportunities of them flying up and catching bugs. So I've just grabbed some video footage in the 4K crop to fill the frame of what I could. Other than that, the green woodpecker are down on the ground in good numbers. I think I've seen 3 take off. I got a little bit of video of one flying. It was flying, I thought, why not just put your camera on it and see if the camera manages a few seconds for the vlog, because I've never filmed a green woodpecker in flight. But stupidly, I should have had my slow mode settings for the lighting conditions. The lighting conditions are changing a bit with clouds and the sun coming out, and I'm having to constantly change all my settings for that. So for now, I'm leaving the camera in slow-mo, 120 frames a second, to get any woodpecker taken off flight footage, because I got photos yesterday. Like I said, my best ever green woodpecker photo, and it'd be nice to get a little bit of video of them in slow-mo. Oh, I set a time of 11:15 to start heading back if the spotted flies didn't show. And yeah, they gave up. So I started heading back, and there was a dead tree, small dead tree, with something, it looked like dead leaves, but I thought that's a beak, I'm sure of it. I thought that can't be great spotted woodpecker, could it? It's so small, and it would have moved by now. And I got my camera up, and surprise, surprise, it was a great spotted woodpecker. It was behind a branch, so it kind of looked at me, leaned forward a bit, leaned back. I got the eye, because the rule is get some footage first and then set up for a better shot. So I got the footage, moved around to get in front of it, and it was standing still, give it its credit. But as soon as I got my camera on the tripod, it flew away. But that's a really tame woodpecker, and he's along this tree line as well as the spotted flycatcher. So I could spend hours along here just getting great stuff of, I just got a really good flight shot of a blue tit. I thought, okay, just do some practice. Is that I think that's probably a blue tit. I'm just seeing a small bird land on top of a dead tree, and yeah, I can hear the call. Because the dead tree I'm talking about closer to the farm is where I saw the spotted flycatchers yesterday, the adults. So yeah, the great spotted woodpecker flew off into the area where the farm is itself. So we're heading back now because we've only got today, so we've got 2 things to do. And yeah, it's exciting. It's something different. Every time I change my position, I see something different. I finally got to RSPB Minsmere about 40 minutes before closing. So my wife's gone in to look at the shop, which is great because I'm going to check the feeders out, which is always my first port of call whenever I get to an RSPB site, is see what kind of birds are being attracted to the feeders. Nothing unusual here so far. The most unusual would be a chaffinch, which isn't much, but I've just got some nice library, steady. I've got my 3-way gear tripod head on my tripod, and I've set it up so they can see how fast they can quickly get it on the bird, even if it's just for a few seconds of steady footage. And I'm doing not too badly. I even had a blue tit sit still for like a minute, which is great. I'll be able to put that on some stories. But when I went to say RSPB on, there were siskins on the feeders. That's incredible. And then when I went to Warnham, that had brambling, bullfinch. That's the best one so far. And we're just going to give it another 10-15 minutes here, and then we'll go for a walk. Yeah, a bit of luck there at the feeders. A marsh tit showed up. It was a chirp I didn't recognise because I don't hear marsh tits enough. I've only seen them, I think, 3 times. Looked down at Merlin to check. Yep, it showed up marsh tit, and I got a couple of seconds in a tree, zoomed back, so not filling the frame, and then I moved around looking at birds on the ground, foraging on the ground in the bushes behind the feeders where the chaffinch were, and it was in there. I had to get right down on my knee with no trousers on. Ouch. And I got some frame filling stuff, but lots of branches. I had to be on my manual focus A game to get them. And when you see the vlog, they'll be in there, and you can see what a marsh tit is. It looks like a blue tit, just more kind of yellow and duskier, no blue. And then on the first platform to the right, as you come through the reserve entrance, marsh harry in the distance. So we've got our first raptor for the reserve. Swans coming in, doing that really loud. When they fly, you know they're coming from a mile away. The wings make such a noise. Just picked up a couple of male pheasant feeding in the trees off the path here. They're not running, so they're not spooked. And a couple of coal tit. We're just walking through the forested bit, and we're about to get to the open area. So we're clocking up some species. Pretty good. Well, I've just been into the East Hyde, and very, very quiet, and the lighting is terrible. I say quiet, there are lots of mallards and gadwall, teal. The only thing of any interest was a single avocet and a single bar-tailed godwit. There you go. So I just thought I'd do a bit of an update. But what happens is the East Hyde faces west and the sun's going down. So anything there is just silhouetted is awful. So I just thought I'd do an update. I'm just standing by the water, the sea. This wind is very, very strong. So there are no birds, no stone chats, no wheatears, no wind chats. Okay, we're heading back to the main reserve. Yeah, we just finished up at Minsmere, very quiet. Only thing that really came out last minute was a green woodpecker, which I've got on the place we're staying. So nothing new. I've searched around, all the little birds in the feeders have gone, just a few hares and rabbits running around. Oh, I mean, nothing came up on bird guides for this place. It's all happening elsewhere in Suffolk. There's a nectarine warbler, I think, an Arctic warbler, a barred warbler, hoopoo, lots of other things, but nothing here at Minsmere, unfortunately. Okay, another time. I think that's a wrap. I'm probably not gonna get much more or anything else unless we hear an owl tonight. If not, I hope you enjoyed the podcast from this trip.